We're here today for a transformative experience.
Be the Healing is a summit to gather people that are looking to heal from racial intergenerational trauma.
This is an awesome opportunity because they have a lot of workshops about mental health, and then also talks about just healing.
Recognizing the impact of the historical traumas that have been experienced primarily by African American people in this country. Looking at restorative justice, looking at healing practices, transforming multi-generational trauma into healing strategies for families to thrive.
Be the Healing Summit gives everyone an opportunity to understand how did we get to this place and how do we get out of it.
So that's why we're all here together, learning about the past, understanding where we are in the present, and planning for the future.
We believe that everybody has to be a co-creator of solutions. And that means children, youth, adults, everybody needs to be on board with this. And so healing, one, looks like connecting. That's number one, unifying, bringing people together, finding reasons why we are more alike than not alike, and recognizing that the only way change is going to happen, it has to happen on all the multiple levels where the injury happened. And the injury happened mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It happened economically. Everyone has to roll up their sleeves. Each one of us has a lane and we need to get in it. We have to understand what produced it, which means we have to change those things that produced it, or we'll continue to. But not if we're not looking at it correctly, if we're blaming the very people that have been victimized.
What needs to happen for us to get to a world that we want to see with peace, justice, unity, love, and the understanding of the oneness of humankind.
Everybody that we come in contact with is human first, and we give everybody that ability and that respect, understanding that, hey, this is my brother, this is my sister.
You have to start with your imagination to create anything, so that's why it's important that everybody starts using their imagination again. I know a lot of times when we experience trauma, we don't necessarily have access to our imagination anymore, but if we can reignite that imagination, we'll be able to create the world that we want to see and that we want to live in.
World healed from racism. A precursor to that is a world where justice reigns, right? So where everyone knows that equity is true, that all people can thrive. Everybody has deep connections to one another. Everyone has a sense of purpose and meaning. All physical needs are met.
Just like we've bought into the imaginations of others when they created the systems that govern the U.S. right now, we can create a new and different possibility that benefits all and not the precious few.
Relationships matter. If we want to take the gun out of someone's hand that is looking to shoot someone, to kill them, to harm them, it has to be a relationship there.
It's about really listening, getting input, using that input to co-create solutions. In my case, how do we improve schools? How do we better educate our students, right? How do we get more resources into these neighborhoods that have been under-resourced for so long?
We need to create spaces to allow our young people to be processing their lived experiences, right? And to share history, but not in a way that's one-dimensional, right? But to really allow our young people to thrive and flourish.
As a young man myself, I was never really taught to speak about my feelings, to speak about what's going on in my head. But now as I'm getting older, I've learned how to really communicate my feelings and my thoughts.
Music is how I express myself and how I'm changing the narrative. That my music is not about degrading women or killing one another. It's just about having a positive vibe, having an uplifting spirit.
I would like to see healing a lot, like in the public schools and communities. I would just like to see more unity in different races and ethnicities.
I am multiracial. For me, it's just about seeing change and how we navigate the world together.
I've learned that being emotional is not a problem. It's just what you do with your emotions. To cope with your emotions, you should not use drugs or alcohol, anything like that. You should focus on something like reading a book or writing or praying.
So if we start to really interrogate our own imagination of what we think of as success, what we think of as power, how we think of one another as fellow human beings, that's one starting ground for being able to change those external structures that we can see. So my book is called Imagination, a Manifesto, and it's looking at the role of imagination in our lives, the forms of imagination that are harmful, and also it's an invitation for us to cultivate our collective imagination for social change.
This is going to be something that we've never seen before. Our global society as one unit. Be the healing.
Be the healing.
Be the healing.